If I'm not making room for joy and ease, you know this, we
And if
never
you're
get
stressed
to
out
it.
about celebrating and having the fun part, something's wrong.
Exactly. And so I don't think I'm the only one out there that does this. The first section of my book is on the problem of people pleasing. Right. And so it was interesting. You've probably, like me, Lindsay, and as our listeners probably have, if they've ever struggled with people pleasing, we've all heard the just set boundaries, right? How many of us have gotten the book Boundaries? Wonderful book. We've read that. We've read the sequel.
Oh, I need to read it.
Oh, it's a great book. But
Who's it by?
here I
Who's it by?
am. Oh, I'd have to go Google. It's been so many years. It's like 20 years ago I read the book.
Oh my God. I'm so 20 years behind.
Right. So now I'm going, but I'm still people pleasing. So when someone posed the question, in fact, it was the great Bobby McGrath, said, hey, what is it that you want to leave behind in 2017, 2018? What is it that you want to leave behind and not bring into the new year? And from like the gritty part of me, it's like people pleasing. I'm done with people pleasing. And then I spent an entire year going, what the heck just happened here? Like, I just felt it was like a groove that I would get knocked and go like, shoosh, there. I just people pleased. Yeah. And I thought, what is happening? I know to set boundaries. Why am I not doing this? What got bummed?
For example, give me an example. What was your people pleasing? And then I'm going to give you an example because these are really good and I bet they're going to be different.
Okay.
I want to know.
This is okay. So true confessions of someone who's been like a really diehard people pleaser. I told you this story when we met for lunch just recently to see the changes of working what I'm talking about. But I went and bought something on Facebook Marketplace. So I have these brand new kittens. They were like 4 weeks old when we got them. Their mom was killed. So we took them in. So hashtag, mother of twins. And so we brought these kittens into our house and I thought, I need baby gates to keep them in my kitchen because they're not litter box trained. They're like the mayhem. So I thought,
and they're going to destroy your house if you don't contain them.
Exactly. So I thought I'm going to be a smart, savvy person and I'm going to go and get baby gates. Because eventually, cats, they're going to climb out. This is a short-term solution to keep them in the kitchen. So I'll buy on Facebook Marketplace. And I reached out to a woman who had 2 and I need 2 for both entrances of my kitchen. So I thought, how smart am I? I'm not going in multiple places. I'm going to make life easy for me. I'm shopping for 2 baby gates. So they're really nice baby gates, right? They're like the doors, they open, close, I don't have to hop them and they're adjustable. Yay. So I reach out. Yes, they're available. 2 for $80. Aren't I savvy? And so when can I get them? And because they're already climbing over the obstacles, they're going to be loose in my house any moment. And so she's like, oh, I'll go leave work over my lunch break and go get these baby gates for you. And then after work, I'll meet you at the Walmart in Briar Creek. So great. So she's running home over her lunch break. I so appreciate that. And I get there, we connect. She's got the back of her SUV open. And I get there and my heart just sinks because I have these little 4-week-old kittens. They're like tiny. And the openings between the slats, the bars, right, are just too wide. And I thought, this is not, so I'm already in my mind. I feel bad because she ran home over her lunch break and she took her time to meet with me at Walmart. So you know what I'm heading to do. The old Dawn would have been like, oh, I'll just pay you the $80 and I'll try and flip it on Facebook and hope to get as much. Maybe I'll get less, but I don't want to inconvenience you. So instead, I know, because it's not that we haven't done this before. So I tell her, and I'd already handed her the money and she opened the back and I was like, these are not going to work. And she's like, no, look how these are going to work. And I'm in my mind thinking, what if I put mesh up? What if I'm finding all these ways that I'm going to try and make this work? And I thought, they're not going to work. Just tell her they're not going to work. And so God. I just apologized and said, I'm so sorry. These are not going to work. She handed me my money back. I had that little ping of, I feel really bad. You went home over your lunch break, but they're not going to work for me.
Seriously, like at this age that we are now,
mm-hmm. And me older than
almost
you.
in our 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Absolutely. We totally look fat.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know about that for me, but you do. No, but what I'm saying is, isn't this the age that we are allowed to not people please?
Well, sure,
For
but
instance,
go ahead. Tell me your.
No, you go. No,
I was going to say,
no,
but
you
it's
go.
not about being allowed to be like, who are we waiting on permission from?
I know.
That's one of my 7 things of one of my triggers. I was waiting on other people to give me the permission.
Totally.
Give yourself permission.
Well, you're talking about the baby gates, and how many times in one episode can we say baby gates, baby gates, baby gates? I'm talking about people pleasing oh my God, my daughter Daisy is going to be 9 on Monday. And there's another part that I want to talk about that too. But anyway, here's something about people pleasing as a mother. I'm in charge here.
Yes.
I'm the mother. So I design her whole new bedroom. There's a thin window in between these 2 upholstered single beds, right? I pick out the bedding, the wallpaper, everything. It's about to be implemented. I mean, when we move back in hopefully 2 months. All of a sudden, she says to me while we're walking through the house last week, you know what? I don't want the back bedroom. I want the front bedroom. The front bedroom has double width of the window that I designed this entire room around. And so I'm like, really? And so I start thinking about the whole thing, what if these upholstered beds just were coming over the window? Wait a second. This is my new house. I don't want the aesthetic of seeing the back of a single headboard from the street.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay. And I'm like, blah, blah. I'm going a mile a minute trying to figure out the design. And then finally I was like, stop it, Lindsay. Be in charge. You're the mother. And so I looked at her and I said, no.
And how did that feel?
If you want your brand new, it felt good.
Okay.
I said, if you want to have your brand new bedroom with the whole cheetah hot pink theme that we're doing, that's going to be amazeballs, then you're sitting in the back fucking bedroom.
Yeah. So now we do this with our design clients, right? Our design clients, our staging clients, and they didn't read the contract, right? And so now they're calling you up and they're going like, oh, can't you make an exception? Can't you? And you're thinking, I don't want to lose the business. I don't want to be like.
I don't want to be known as a bitch.
Right.
I didn't want my daughter to think I was a bitch.
Right. Because it's only.
And I am.
But here's the thing. It's only this, right? This is what goes on in our brain. It's only ... But I will guarantee you that the next time that client comes back to you, now as a stager, we have repeat clients. That'll be the same person that comes back to you on the next job and asks for the same favor. Because we showed that our boundaries were weak. Now I know that. So what is it that keeps me from setting that boundary? So you named one of them. We're afraid people will think we're a bitch or that we're not nice, right?
Right.
We're being...
Or that you know what I would hate for somebody to think that I was like a know-it-all, that I wasn't flexible, that I wasn't willing to accommodate.
So you could write some chapters because this is the sort of thing that we will all notice unless we take time to look at the messages. What is the thinking instead of what happens is we react and we have that feeling inside and then we act out of it. So I talk about the power of the pause, right?
Oh, I love this. This is so good.
The power of the pause. Because before I open my big mouth.
Don't say anything.
Right. So before I open my big mouth, right?
Amazing.
And I have to give myself time to take a breath because I'm in emotion. I'm in that groove that's there. So if the fear is people will think I'm a know-it-all, right? Or
unwilling to accommodate.
Or unflexible. Then I've got to be willing to give myself the space to let that go. So one of the things in my book that I talk about, that I was listening to a psychologist on YouTube, on a TED Talk, actually. And she was saying that our emotions peak at about 90 seconds, right? So if I can wait just 90 seconds, it's going to start to ebb off. And I thought, you know what? I can be uncomfortable for 90 seconds. I'm a big girl. I know that 90 seconds is in my wheelhouse. I have pushed out 4 babies. 90 seconds ain't nothing. And so
that is good information, Dawn. 90 seconds.
90 seconds. So
instead of us being so what's the word? What is it when
Reactive.
you like no it's when you want to be taking care of everybody else, when you are not in your lane and you are micromanaging and you are what's the word?
Codependent.
Okay.
It's codependency.
Codependent. Yes. So that's what we're doing. When we don't let people, when we don't take those 90 seconds, it's our wheels turning. Oh my God, how am I going to decorate this room in the front of the house and not in the back? And like, what are we going to do? And how can I,
And
why don't you just let them do what they're going to do?
And oftentimes we are up in their business. We're feeling their feelings. We're thinking their thoughts for them. And we don't even know if they're thinking those thoughts. We're telling their story. So those 90 seconds of letting us be uncomfortable allows us to open up space for a different choice, because we are
So let me just
reactively going into people pleasing.